Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. It's Vlogmas in July 2021, day 5. Do y'all want to talk about purging fabric today? Me neither. Let's do it anyway. Stay tuned. I wanted to take a few minutes in this video today to talk about purging fabric. I am sort of on a decluttering journey. One of my words of the year is attack, and I've been attacking some clutter in my house. If you've been following my channel, you know what I'm talking about. Getting some spaces clearer, getting rid of some stuff so that I can make room for hopefully other stuff to, and to come into my life. I don't know. But like, just to get rid of some of the clutter and have some cool spaces. And I've been able to declutter my bathroom, my closet, and my bedroom. And so now those are very comforting spaces. And since I've been on that journey, I was working on my sewing area, and I actually was able to clear the floor for the most part. I'll put a picture here of part of that cleared floor. I did not on purpose take pictures of the flat surfaces, like where I actually sew, because that still has some stuff on there. But what has happened is I've gotten more fabric, and you'll see that. You've already seen one of the fabric hauls, and so my fabric, if you'll look back at the picture of the floor, the fabric that I just purchased is sitting on the floor next to the dresser, and the dresser has all of my fabrics in it. So the dresser is sort of full, and I need to make space for the other fabrics that I have, that I've recently purchased or that I've recently gotten for free. So when I first considered that I was going to declutter my fabric, I don't want to do that. Because as a sewer quilter, I see value in all of that fabric. It all can be used for something. Even if I can't use it, I know that it's usable. I don't want to just get rid of something that is usable. But also, in my stash, I don't think I have a lot of fabric until I go to pull it out. So in addition to my dresser, I have several containers of crumbs that I'm using for crumb blocks. I have my 3 bags of strings that I can use for string blocks. I have a bookshelf filled with, I wrote them down, 16 projects that are UFOs. I have denim. I have shirt remnants that I'm going to either turn into zipper pouches or make bears out of. So I have all of this fabric that I can choose from, in addition to a full dresser. And it's not completely full because the red, orange, yellow drawer is, it doesn't have a lot in it. But then the blue one and the blue, green, purple is like overflowing. And then I had a drawer that was full of stuff that I probably won't use. So I don't know if you're thinking about decluttering, or not decluttering, but like purging your fabrics. But I decided that I was going to do that. The first day I couldn't, and so I just kind of wrote about it because I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I just took some notes, and I'm going to go through them quickly. You can decide how you want to, if you want to, because you don't have to. And that's one thing that I decided, that I don't have to get rid of any of the fabric. To me, it's all valuable. In my mind, I can keep it all, but if I want to keep it in that dresser, then something has got to give. I gave myself some options. One of the options is that where I keep my fabric is a small space, and so I can add more storage if I want to, and that's an option. Also, this space that I'm using upstairs is temporary. My real sewing area is going to be downstairs, and I will have more space downstairs. I already know that I'm going to add that in as a part of that sewing area. It's a huge area, so I don't have to worry about limiting my fabric storage as much. And then another option that I had was to purge just from the new stuff, the new free stuff. So just like in my fabric haul video from last week, I can just purge from the new stuff and keep everything that I have if I want to. I can choose to do that. I can do a mini purge so that I get rid of obvious stuff that I know I'm not going to use, and I'll go into that in just a minute. And then we'll talk about how I managed to purge a little bit, a teensy weensy bit. Or I can give myself a deadline to use some things up. So like put it into like a use by box, and if I don't use it by that date, then it can go away. So what I did is I started with the very bottom drawer of my dresser. I took a picture of it. I'll put it in the video here. The reason that I started with that one is because that had things that I'm not likely to use. So it would be easy to get rid of things out of that drawer. Okay, so I've listed like 4 things, 4 categories that I can purge from. Okay, so category 1. If it's not for quilting, I don't have to keep it. I'm not going to keep it if it's not quilting cotton. Okay? I am not going to keep the flannel because I typically don't use it for quilting. And if I want to use flannel, I will go out and buy it. The flannel that I have now, it was in a free fabric haul, and I didn't choose it, so it's not my typical fabric that I would pick. There is one exception, and I'll tell you that at the end. And then fabric that is already sewn into something else. Sometimes you get, when I get a bag of fabric, it might have pillowcases or curtains or something in there. And if it's already sewn into something else, I'm not going to keep it. I don't need it. The exception is quilt blocks. I will keep quilt blocks because they're technically not sewn into anything else. They're a building block for a quilt. And then the last thing that I have on the list is fabrics that are not my style. So, for example, I've been given a lot of floral fabrics, and they're not like the modern florals. They're more old school, and so I really have to make some decisions about them because I will typically not use them in a quilt. There's even sort of an exception about that because I can use them because I have some vintage panels that my grandma and my great-grandmother made. So that's the other thing, is keeping those there. So now I want to show you the progress that I made in my bottom drawer. Let me pause the camera for a second. I want to make sure that we're still recording, and then I'll go to the next part. So I decided to go ahead and purge that bottom drawer, and I put a picture. I'll put that picture here again of what it looked like when I started. And here I'm going to I'm going to put a picture of everything that I chose to get rid of. I have the flannel in one of the pictures. I have things that were sewn into something else, or things that are not quilting cotton that I'm not going to use. And so once I cleared those things out of that drawer, this is what was left. I'm going to show you. I'm going to open up the drawer now so that you can see what I was left with. Here goes. So this is all that is in the drawer now. This fabric right here, these browns, they just came from my fabric haul, so they weren't even in here. So the only thing that's left right now are these pinkish fabrics, and then these browns. Everything else is gone. And so now I have a little bit more space to add some new things. For example, I might add some of these things from my fabric hauls that I haven't dealt with yet. And let me show you the other drawers. I still have some work to do if I choose to. So these are my blues. These are the fabrics that I was saying I'm not sure that they're my style. These two in particular. But I have some other projects that could work for these. Okay, and then this is my red, orange, yellow. Not a lot. And then here's my top one, and it's pretty full. But I still have space if I need to add more fabrics, and I'm sure I will. I hope that I was able to give you a little bit of insight. I don't know if inspiration would be the right word, because even for me, purging fabric is like, just the thought of that, I really don't want to do it. It makes me nervous to do it. But if it's something that you're thinking about, if you're thinking about your space, if there's something that's not quite right about it that you want to, that may cause you to say, hey, I need to move some of this fabric out of the way to make room for other fabric, or, you know, just to have a clearer space. Maybe this helps. Leave in the comments what you think about the video, if you've thought about purging fabric, if you actually purged, what was your experience like? For these flannels, I actually decided after I came back home and I looked at them, I'm going to work on a t-shirt quilt, and I'm going to, these colors match the shirts, and so I'm going to insert these as the sashing. I think I'm going to use this as my cornerstones, and I think I'm going to use this for my border. So these can actually be used in my t-shirt quilt, and I'll probably put just a plain quilting cotton as the backing, but at least I know that I have a use for these, and I've already sort of started that process. If you have any questions about what you've seen in the video, leave them in the comments below. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!